Joining us now is Gina Kell Spehn. She is the co-founder and president of the New Day Foundation for Families Fighting Cancer, whose mission is to provide financial assistance and emotional support to families fighting cancer. Gina, thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate having you back. So one of the many programs that you provide for these families to fulfill that mission of providing financial assistance to families that are battling cancer is a grocery program. What is the grocery program? When did it start? And why was that applied through your organization?
Yeah, well, cancer is a very scary and emotional time. It stresses people out physically, yes, but also financially and emotionally. And it can lead to a lot of surprise issues that people did not anticipate. During the pandemic, when things sort of really peaked in the beginning, in those early days, March and April, a lot of confusion, a lot of concern, and not wanting to have to go to grocery stores, New Day decided to solicit volunteers to help us grocery shop and deliver. Programs like Shipt weren't working. We had a lot of elderly patients and families who really couldn't use the technology to get those groceries. So we were able to get volunteers to grocery shop with the list provided by the family themselves and deliver right to their doorsteps, contactless and seamlessly. And the program was so successful that we've been able to continue the program all the way here into 2022. It's going stronger than ever.
We're joined by Gina Kell Spehn. She is the co-founder and president of the New Day Foundation for Families Fighting Cancer, joining us on the MegaCast. And so this grocery program is mostly operated by volunteers, or is it other people within your organization that are helping to provide these groceries for those that you serve?
Yeah, so volunteers come to us from many ways, a lot word of mouth, but we work with organizations like Share Detroit, who help to connect us to volunteer networks. We had a nice group of volunteers in the beginning, but this has multiplied. We've gone from having about 60 volunteers throughout the course of a year to help at events and in different ways, to multiplying that to now over 170 volunteers. And we credit that in large part to the fact that the program, it's easy. Everyone goes to a grocery store, and to pick up a few extra items for a family in need is not a big deal, especially if they're in your community. So in some cases, we have communities that are outlying. So, we have a harder time, for example, finding volunteers downriver or finding volunteers in the Grand Rapids area because we're not right there. So getting the word out and helping people who know people get the word out is really great. And Share Detroit's been a big help in that regard as well.
And so do you find that with this, particularly this grocery program or other programs, there are certain efforts that your organization makes that tend to draw volunteers to them? And if so, beyond those, what are some other opportunities that may get overlooked by potential volunteers in that case that are still vitally important then to your organization?
That's a great question. I mean, every nonprofit needs help. We have boards, we have staff, we have some volunteers around, but having committed volunteers, people who are serious about sort of sticking with you for the long haul in some capacity, not so as to burden you or to overwhelm you, but to take on like jobs and tasks like within our own office, weekly visits to come in and help us, maybe ordering supplies or doing small tasks like that. On a larger scale, events. Every time we have an event, we need a handful of people to run registration tables or simply sit at a door so that we can man a door. I mean, simple, they feel like insignificant things, but we need the bodies and the people to help us do those simple tasks. There's things like obviously making blankets. That's an easy one. But the other one we just got through the holiday season was we had volunteers who help us shop and provide Christmas and holiday gifts for families who are affected by cancer. So there's many ways throughout the course of a year to give. We have a wall of hope, for example, photos of every family that we work with. Somebody needs to come up, put them up and take them down each year. So things like that. So there's always ways to support families and or support organizations in your community. Just call them up. I'll bet that any one of us would have a list a mile long.
We're joined by Gina Kell Spehn. She is the co-founder and president of the New Day Foundation for Families Fighting Cancer, joining us today on the MegaCast. And so on top of course, the volunteer opportunities, as you mentioned, there are many opportunities to give, both, of course, your time and also financially, but there are also ways that you can do a little bit of both while participating in events through the organization. And you have an upcoming event that you have coming up to attend a hockey game, the Detroit Red Wings. Can you tell us a little bit about that event and working with the Red Wings?
Yeah, so the Detroit Red Wing Alumni Association has this great program where they will take on a team. If there's a team available out there that wants to take on this organization's alumni, they can do it. So we have the Guardians, which is a team made up of police, fire, and EMS from our area and the Rochester area. So it's like first responders versus Detroit Red Wing alumni. It takes place on Sunday, a good family day. Nothing to do on a Sunday afternoon. So come on out to Suburban Ice in Rochester, or the Onyx, as some may know it. It's at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There's going to be a lot of fun. There's opportunities to win raffle baskets. They're doing this thing called Chuck-a-Puck. If you know what that's about, it's fun for the kids, can win prizes, things like that. So it's just a great day for the community to come out. We'll obviously adhere to social distancing and things of that nature, but we want to keep it a safe and family-friendly environment, and it should be a really great time.
We're joined by Gina Kell Spehn, the co-founder and president of the New Day Foundation for Families Fighting Cancer. You can learn more information about the organization by visiting their website at foundationforfamilies.org. Again, that is foundationforfamilies.org. And you can also learn more information. Of course, they're supported by Share Detroit as well, that we've spoken with numerous times. It lists many different nonprofit organizations and charities in the Metro Detroit area by visiting sharedetroit.com and just search for the New Day Foundation for Families Fighting Cancer to get more information. And so, Gina, recently you've expanded your emotional support services as well. Not only are these services being provided to those that are battling cancer, but also to their families as well. Can you speak to the reason why your organization has put such an effort into expanding these programs to be more all-inclusive and include these family members as well as those that are battling cancer?
Yeah, I mean, cancer is systemic throughout a family. It doesn't just affect a patient. It affects the caregivers. It affects the children and the siblings and even aunts, uncles, neighbors, coworkers. It really is something that impacts a family and a network of people. And mental health support is something that now more than ever is needed. Going through the pandemic, I think a lot of people know isolation and all the change that has gone on. A lot of people have been sort of struggling to cope. And so we see it as a very important and vital part of the programming that we offer. Financial assistance is one thing, it's a major stressor, but the emotional support piece is something that we're really proud of expanding. We have a program coordinator dedicated specifically to this program. And what the way that it operates is that within the hospital system, these social workers and the nurse navigators, doctors, anybody can make a referral to us on behalf of a patient. Patients can also come to us directly. They can also find and reach us directly. But what we'll do is we'll serve as a liaison to a professional counselor so that you don't have to wait, you don't have to do the research. We'll really try to find a great match that fits what the needs are. Maybe you need couples therapy. Maybe you need something specifically for a child who's dealing with behavioral issues. Maybe you're a patient and you just need some coping skills. Whatever the case may be, we can find a really great match, pair you up, and hopefully, get you through a few sessions that would be good for you, but there's long-term options available as well. New Day works with a group of very generous therapists who provide us with discounted rates. So we'll pay for families who are in financial crisis, but if you're working with us and you can afford to pay for it, you'll even get that service at a discounted rate. So the program is one of our newer programs. It's come out of the basic needs of this community in general. Like I said, mental health support is something we all need to take more seriously and consider as an option. But the hard part sometimes is just finding the right fit. And so we can provide that.
We're joined by Gina Kell Spehn. She is the co-founder and president of the New Day Foundation for Families Fighting Cancer. And Gina, just another few minutes left with you today before we'll say goodbye. Anything else at this time that our audience should be aware of in terms of needs of the organization going forward as we continue to deal with the pandemic and you continue to provide your services during this challenging time, so that they know how they can best help your organization continue to serve these families that are battling cancer together?
Well, from my perspective, one of the most important things that we can do is share with people that organizations like this exist. Yeah. So often people don't know about us until they have a need, until cancer strikes their family, and then they hear about us somehow, word of mouth, through the hospitals, et cetera. We want people to know that there are cancer care organizations, that New Day is here, that we are here to work with you to provide every non-medical resource that you need to get through your cancer treatment. So if you have a friend, a neighbor, a loved one who's going through cancer, please mention New Day Foundation to them. Let them know that we're here for them to care for them. Easiest way to get through to us is to go through your healthcare professional, but you may come direct as well, and we can work with you that way too. So, awareness is a big issue. That's why we appreciate opportunities to talk about our programs with people like you, and we really appreciate that you've invited us today.
Gina, just another minute with you. Where can people find more information about the organization if they do want to get in contact or they want to forward the information to others that may benefit from working with your organization?
The website is foundationforfamilies.org.
Okay, again, it is foundationforfamilies.org. Gina, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you again. Have a great day.